It's Mr. Renew. So I just want to hop on here real quick and get this little thought that I was having right now. It's making me laugh, and I figured I should tell y'all about it. So I'm thinking like, man, you know those times where you be like doing something and then you be like, what the fuck did I do? Or what the fuck did I just read? Or when you be driving and, you zone out and be like, how did I make it here? That is what I've been thinking about. And I was thinking about it because I realized that it's me. And when I'm doing something and I can notice when I'm starting to dissociate as I'm still reading, I realize that it's just a third person popping up. And it's like an older, wiser me just sitting there judging me like, look at this motherfucker, not even focused. Look at you, not even doing what you doing. Get focused, young person. Shut the fuck up, old man. I'm trying here. Nah, but I think a lot of it has to do with we get thoughts that kind of come in and cloud what we got going on, but because it's a thought, it's energy. And so to me, I just see it as distortion. And so it comes two ways. It starts to get fuzzy and then it starts to get faint, like radio waves. That's really literally what the fuck it sounds like. So it's like the signal is getting more faint, and you can't hear the sound. So when I'm sitting here and I'm doing it and I'm looking at these thoughts and these images in my mind, and then I'm watching that motherfucker go away and I'm like trying to grasp at it and make it come and stay, I'm realizing that it's because there's another thought that is taking up that energy. I'm being drained somewhere else, which is causing a distraction here. So where this all came out from was listening to a reader, but I really wasn't listening because I was doing my own. No, because I was like, what the fuck do I need to do today? So I was like, let me ask myself. And counseling came out. So I've been trying to do that already, but it's just like, there's a part that I feel like I'm missing, but then it's not. I just don't have the awareness to realize which part of me wants to do it, and then the awareness to know which part of me is blocking that. And it doesn't have to be on purpose. And that's like the real cool, like respectful thing. You can keep the respect by knowing that these thoughts inside of me, or these energetic bodies, that by just existing, sometimes you can be in the way. And the same thing could be said with meeting people. Sometimes you can have like a friend or a cousin or some person, an ex, we could say a child, a step parent. Something can always kind of be in the way of you getting to the things that you need to get to. But it's not about going through those obstacles. Let it attract to you. Again, if that person wants to get to you and you want to get to that person, you'll get there. But sometimes when you actively try to do that, it creates more distance and more conflict. And that's because you're giving it more energy, which is attention. But because you don't actually know what it is, you're just giving attention to something, right? Something, and you don't know how your money coming back. You're just spending, in other words. So the point of me saying this is to try to get you to understand how to become aware and then become aware. And the only thing you can do that with is to split you up into two. So when you are splitting yourself up into two, you got to understand that there is a observer having a observation upon both. You only considering yourself now 1 and 2. No, you need to consider yourself to be what we call a square. 1 squared. That is what I'm trying to get you to understand. 1 squared times 1 is still 1. That's it. So now, because I'm me, looking at a version of me that is squared or 1 times 1 or side by side. Now I can be that old man who was judging the fuck out of the world, old man rocking on my stoop kind of thing, watching. And as I'm watching, I'm realizing like the things that people are doing that's good, and the things that people are doing that, it's not that they bad, but if I was thinking about it right now, I really wouldn't do it that way. Hey son, you probably shouldn't touch that stove. I already told your ass. Watch his ass touch the stove. Well, look at this shit. Look at this shit. Told your ass. So like, because I can be in that aware state of like practicing when I've already been, let's say, an old man, like when little kids are like mimicking their parents, trying to get them to get their siblings to do something right, and then they sound just like their mom or their dad or some shit. That is a 4-year-old kid telling a 2-year-old kid something like they both grown adults. This scale factor has to come in through awareness, and you can scale to anything because you have references in your mind, whether you're consciously thinking about them or not. These energetic bodies can sometimes just put themselves in between you and the things that you want. Sometimes they just inject themselves. Nobody fucking asked you. But guess what? You didn't tell me not to. So that little devilish energy, I was talking about this yesterday, that's like that Bart Simpson energy. That's just like, I'm not touching you, fucking around with your sibling kind of vibes. And it's just like, yeah, it's annoying, but they learned that shit from me. So if you can start to become aware of these programs that people would say, these energetic programs, I'm trying to tell you to take it a little bit further. What you're looking for when you're trying to find these programs, you're looking at behaviors. And so when you act like, or if you look like, you got to know that those things they're existing. So like, if you have like your granddad's nose or something, you got to understand that those genes that made that node, it has a very strong energetic signature. So that means you're going to do things like granddad because granddad is still popping up genetically, which means energetically, you have to make sure that you're doing things that mostly align with that aspect. Because again, you don't give a dog horse feed. You give the dog food and you give the horse food, but sometimes the horse don't give a fuck, and sometimes the dog don't care. You got to understand that sometimes. Right now, your nose looks like granddad's, so right now you should be doing things that granddad did to take care of his nose or whatever. You got grandma's eyes. She wear glasses. You better start eating some carrots. Like, it's just little things like that, being aware enough to see how nobody said that you were going to get grandma's eyes or granddad's nose. You just got it, right? The luck of the draw is what we say. But if you don't know how to care for those things that you received, you are going to find blockages. But more importantly, if nobody cared for those things in the right way, you're going to also have more types of blockages, more kinds of the same shit. This is energy. Energy is not just, energy comes in a couple of different forms, but there's 4 major forms. And so these fundamental forces of nature, or energy, those things are just 4 different things completely. That's it. Earth, air, fire, water. Because they're just completely different, you just got to respect the fact that they are what they are. These things are going to be what they are. And then you got to be smart enough and aware enough to say, because they can be what they are, what are they being? If they're being good over here, and then you're going to equate that to not good over there, then guess what? You still got to find a new means to be polarized with, because the light being on versus the light being off, that's still going in one way. So that energy can still create blockages for you as you're progressing along this pathway. It just creates a longer cycle now opposed to a short cycle. Curls. These are curls. People have long loopy curls. Some people have little curls. And then some people got little beady beads like I would have. But my shit looking all right. But not down here. Well, I should look all right too. So yeah, not me. I ain't included with that BDB rolled up taco meat shit. But the whole point, again, is to show that awareness can present itself in many forms. Behaviorally is the one, thoughts constantly, but then how the thoughts influence you. And so we get ideas of people who are, let's say, depressed, and they feel the pressure. They're feeling something. They're actually feeling something. I can feel static electricity. Sometimes I hate going shopping in certain places. I'll be in there like trying to make sure it was safe, so I'll be appreciating when some of those like grocery doors be having plastic handles instead of metal everywhere, but it's just little things like that would show me, because some people don't get shocked, but then other people do. I'm one of them, and when I see somebody else get shocked, I laugh because they got shocked like me, so I'm not the only one feeling that pain. And then guess what? They can do the same. And now we're both laughing and saying, damn, you got a solution? This is the same idea with you. If you have a thought that you want to do something, like me, I want to do something, but I don't know what to do because there's a whole bunch of somethings I could do. Well, what is my normal responsive state? I ain't doing shit. So because I can't afford to not do shit today, I'm not retired. I gotta do something. So the first thing was I sat and I asked my ancestors, what the fuck should I do? And I was like, oh, I'm gonna pray to God that I can be open enough to hear what the fuck I need to do. And then when I decided to pull out the cards, and I read some cards, starting to get a little bit confused, but I got the idea. Nope, nigga, what should you be doing? You should be doing shit with counseling. All right, cool. How does this come about? Well, boom, a whole bunch of different ways. And then guess what? The cards was like, time for you to decide. And I was like, oh, I don't know what to decide though. And then next card fell out. It was like, follow your heart. And I was like, oh, this is all the same shit that I would say to somebody in counseling, like in a counseling session. And the angels are telling me, and I'm sitting here like, no, being so resistant to, just like the people who be resistant to change when I be working with them, and then I get mad. But the ancestors aren't getting mad at me. They're just throwing more truths at me. And I'm just like, truth. And so, because I can now turn it into a funny, because I can just laugh about it, I can experience those truths. But now my body has produced energies that are associated with good times. Just like telling your fat ass friend, you a fat motherfucker. And then like do a jig, like, I don't know, make a funny about like a jelly roll or some shit. I was thinking about how back in the day, my high school friends, we were fucking farm animals. We would always bag each other, and everybody was some kind of animal. Obviously, I was a big back nigga, so I was a gorilla. There was a horse, a rhino, and a dog. And we also had a cyclops. And it was just funny because, like, those things were true. Yeah. All of those things that they identified as, descriptors of each other, we were like, yeah, you got a big old rhinoceros head. Your shit look like a rhinoceros nose is on your shit. Like, okay, so, but if we weren't friends, that will probably hurt somebody's feelings and, make them all sad and depressed. But because we're friends, you like, well, shut the fuck up, you and your long ass neck, nigga, that mane flowing in the wind, what the fuck? Like, so because we can bring in a new idea or a new kind of energy This is the awareness that I'm trying to get you to become like privy towards, so you can see it as power. It's just a thought, but because you are aware of it, it changes everything. If I said a word to you and you didn't know what it meant, you'll be like, "Buh," and then the only thing you gotta like respond with is what you can respond with, either information you know about or emotion. So I don't like the way the fuck that word sound. But if you know what the word means, you can be like, well, shit, right back at you. So being aware of things, it really, 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 really helps you. But being able to be aware of more than just the idea behind it, give some more details. Give some descriptors. Don't just sit around looking at nouns. This is the idea of what people say there's multiple genders. This is my understanding of how they understand it. Again, it's just a noun, but nouns are described. So because nouns are described with adjectives, it takes a little bit more. And so this is the idea of having a gender. To me, in my mind, this is how I think they're thinking. If I have a noun like a gender, I can describe that noun. And some people don't like being described. Don't call me cis woman. Don't call me cis man. But they're using that as a description to say that you're a type of man or a woman that is natural. But then, because the old ass people be like, well, I'm old and I learned that I'm natural. Guess what? Just call me a man, call me a woman. Well, I mean, that's cool. I think that's true too. That's what I believe. It's more proper, right? Because at the higher echelons, at the most specific level, like that's what it is. But you can't describe something more specific without being cyclical. And when you're in these circles or these laps of repeating meanings and synonymous terms and antonymous terms, you got to go both ways in this loop or this cycle. You got to start to see that it's just how people are projecting thoughts and energies within themselves. They don't have the awareness to see the other side. They don't have the ability to triangulate into a new point of view and remain the same. They don't believe that there is 4 triangles in one triangle. Like, they just don't believe that shit. They don't believe that one atom could make up a bunch of atoms. It's something about them not being able to get the micro detail. But then there's other people on the flip side who can't see the macro details. And these are still details. These aren't big overview pictures. The details of the car is it's a truck versus it's a coupe. It's an SUV versus an 18-wheeler. That's the macro aspects. But then in the macro aspects, like a semi-truck, I can have electric, fast, aerodynamic ones, and I can have big, huge, bulky ones that carry houses. There's such a variety of these things, but you have to be aware of it. But when you become aware of it, you have to become aware of how you interact with it. Again, words applied. Once you can see these 2 factors, then you can start to merge different ratios together. You can start to see how you want to blend things. You can start to put in a new perspective upon yourself. So for me, instead of wanting to do something and thinking about it, I rather got on here and started talking to you all about it. That does everything that my angels told me. I get to teach, I get to talk, I get to counsel. I'm following my heart because it's always freestyle. And then at the end of the day, I'm enjoying myself. I'm stopping in life and I'm smelling the roses. And it is me being a service to others. So of course, my whole mission to get up and do shit today was, at the end of the day, to get some money. That is, like, I'm realizing right now, epiphany, that is the problem. It's because I want to get up and grind and get the money and be successful and all of that Capricornian energy. I want that shit. Hustle, hustle, hustle. It's the devil energy. That's what we say. But it's not the devil to go out and get it. What they're actually referring to is devilish because you're disregarding things like what I'm talking about right now. If I'm not supposed to be working right now and I'm supposed to be talking, and I say, fuck it, I'm going to just work. Fuck it, I need to do the overtime. Fuck it, my wife want this. Fuck it, I need to do this for the kids. like, then you're being disrespectful to the other parts of you. And that's creating energetic discord, blockages, resistance, and nobody want to chat no more. And so now I don't even want to laugh with you. I hate you. Fuck you. And that's not the way you should be with yourself. So let's become a little bit more aware of ourselves. And then let's try to get better. Because once we can become aware of those interactions that we are having with ourselves, then we can start to become more joyous within anything that we can do. You got to learn you, and you are always twofold. Remember, you are a square. One squared. One squared. That's what you are. One thing, two times, as the same thing in a brand new way. So I'm Mr. Renew. New things are always happening with you, so introduce yourself. Hi, I'm some random mister. I'm some random missus. But guess what? I'm new. Always. And guess what? I appreciate you who birthed me into a new. So that's why I call myself Mr. Renew, and I hope you can vibe with this too. All right. Peace.